Streaming live visuals from Srinagar where tributes are being paid to the Air Force martyr. These are live visuals that we are getting from Srinagar, where the Air Force is paying tribute to its soldier who was martyred in that encounter in Bandipora that took place yesterday.
यार पीछे से जाओ यार, थोड़ा दिमाग यूज करा करो। जा ही रहे हैं कि हमेशा आगे हट गए हैं। हमने अड़ना शुरू कर दिया, फिर सुराफत नाल समझाने समझ ही नहीं आती किसी को।
Right, so these are the live visuals that we are getting from Srinagar, tributes being paid to a martyr of the Indian Air Force. For more on this, I am joined by WION's correspondent Khalid. Khalid, the scenes, really heartbreaking scenes coming in from Srinagar. The family is bereaved. She's being consoled by other soldiers of the Air Force. Please give us more details. How's the situation there and more details about the soldier who was martyred in this encounter?
Well, a soldier was killed in an encounter yesterday. That was Indian Air Force Gurud Commando. But it was in other ways very successful operation by security forces. What GOC just now in a press conference told us that it was one of the biggest operation of this year, and adding to that, he has said that around 200 militants they have killed this year. 110 are around locals and others are foreigners, and they have said us that in Kashmir, especially North Kashmir, which was dominated by the foreign militants, the Hajin area is cleaned now after the yesterday's operation. It was a very successful operation for the security forces, and they said us that they are doing two types of operation. One is that the foreign militants who are there here, they will be retaliated in the same way, and the second, the local militants who are here, they will be given chance to surrender. And they have said us that recently in an encounter they have saved a life of militant who was badly injured. So that gives a positive message from the security forces to the Kashmir peoples that they can help the people in other ways. And second thing, what GOC has told us that the Lakhvi's nephew who got killed yesterday, he in other ways confirmed it that they have an input from the Pakistan that he was involved in the encounter and he got killed. That's a very big success for security forces. If we talk of yesterday's operation, but if we talk of the soldier that got killed yesterday in the operation, he was an Indian Air Force commando who was on ground training with the regular armies, and he was learning the operations on ground. So the loss of his life is very unfortunate, and security forces said that we are ready to sacrifice unless we get the fully peace in the Kashmir Valley.
Right, Khalid, please stay on with us. Let's also give our viewers a brief background of what happened and the visuals that we are getting in from Srinagar, live visuals of the tribute being paid to that Air Force Garud commander who was martyred in Bandipora encounter in which 6 Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists were eliminated. Now, the security forces re-emphasized on the surrender policy, which has recently been highlighted since several local terrorists surrendered and came back to their families.
In situation operation what we
लोग उसमें पूरी की पूरी मदद करेंगे उन लड़कों को जो मिलिटेंट्स के दबाव से अभी उनके साथ हैं और वापस आना चाहते हैं एक अच्छी जिंदगी जीने के लिए उनका कोई हैरेसमेंट नहीं किया जाएगा और उनको पूरी से पूरी या उनकी उम्मीद से ज्यादा मदद मिलेगी.
Want the local terrorists to return to the mainstream, and that is what they have highlighted. So that is why if you see several actions which we have done recently, wherein we have found a person who was injured, Ata, in the area of Kulgam, is shot up in the legs. He was bleeding, but we pulled him out and said, okay, we are not interested in kills. He was apprehended. Similarly, Shamsul Vikar, he was apprehended near the railway station, Kazigund. And you are also aware of Majid, who has just joined back. So we are wanting that line of operation of people joining back.
It is very encouraging trend, and I would request other mothers also to appeal their children, and because we all here don't want anybody to even get hurt, what to talk of getting killed. So I request other mothers also to appeal their children to leave the path of violence.
The officials also say that 130 terrorists have been killed in Kashmir Valley this year, and the situation is slowly changing in the area after Majid Khan's surrender to the security forces last week. More families have now put out appeals for members of their family to leave terror outfits and come back. Khalid is still with us on the broadcast. And Khalid, as we speak about the armies and security forces new policy, new surrender policy, 3 people have surrendered so far, and this Majid's return, he was a budding footballer, then he joined the ranks of Lashkar-e-Toiba, but then he gave up his gun and now he shunned violence and now he wants to return to the mainstream, and he's been getting offers from icons like Baichung Bhutia, who said that he is willing to train him at his academy in Delhi and give him another chance. How do you see this policy translating into reality in the Kashmir Valley? Right, we have some technical issues with Khalid's link. We'll try and fix that. So there you heard the security forces saying that yes, the new surrender policy is in place, and with open arms, the terrorists who want to return to the mainstream, those who want to shun violence, give up their gun, are more than welcome into the mainstream. They will be safe. Rehabilitation will be ensured upon return. If they shun violence, if they give up gun, if they give up violence, then yes, those terrorists will be welcomed in the fold as normal citizens. And as we speak of these developments, as we speak of Majid Khan, who returned, who gave up the gun, who left Lashkar-e-Toiba to return to mainstream, more and more families are appealing to their children who've joined terror ranks to come back, to return and start life afresh. And as we see, the security forces, both the army and the CRPF and the J&K police, have been emphasizing on the fact that yes, the crackdown on terror has been immense. The security forces have intensified operations against terrorists. 130 terrorists have been eliminated in the valley this year, and now they are saying that there will be no tolerance, there will be zero tolerance to terror, but they're also saying that those who want to return to the mainstream are welcome, and they will ensure that they return safe. Khalid is back with us. Khalid, before I lost that link with you, my question was that the security forces have clarified that yes, there is a chance, they are willing to give a second chance to anyone who wants to shun violence, give up the gun and return as a normal citizen. And in the wake of Majid Khan's return, he left the the Lashkar-e-Toiba and wants to start afresh. We are seeing people like Baichung Bhutia, football icon of this country, willing to open the gates of his academy to train a former terrorist and give him a second chance. My question to you was that how do you see this policy, this new surrender policy, translate into a reality in Kashmir?
Well, this is definitely seems working, because after Majid Khan's surrender to the security forces, we have seen yesterday 2 more families, one in Shupian and one in Pulwama, appealing to their sons to come back. This is only possible when they have seen that how positively the Majid Khan was welcomed by the security forces here, and that time the army told us that they will initiate all the possible help to the Majid Khan to build a good future in coming life. So this has given a good message across the Kashmir, and the wave is going on. We have seen the most hit districts like Shupian and Pulwama, 2 families coming forward and appealing their sons to shun the gun and come back to the mainstream. So definitely it's working, and today also it was repeated by the highest journal in charge in Kashmir Valley, GOC 15 Corps. He said that we will welcome the people who wants to come back and shun the gun and violence and come back to join the mainstream. And same was repeated by the Director General of Police, Mr. S.P. Ved, that we welcome in all manners to the people who want to come and join the mainstream, and we will facilitate them with all possible helps. So this definitely is a different face we have seen here by security forces. As General told us that there are 2 ways of operation now in force on ground. One is that if a militant fires on us, we will retaliate back in the same language, and other is that if somebody wants to shun the gun and violence, we will welcome with warm arms.